Hi, my name is Amber Board and I'm in my fourth year of a Bachelor of Teaching, Bachelor of Arts, majoring in History and English. I will be graduating from the Australian Catholic University at the end of this year, 2017. During this presentation, I am going to tell you why I want to be a teacher. I will outline my teaching experiences so far and I will demonstrate my teaching philosophy and teaching plan. And finally, I will show my experience planning for the incorporation of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories and cultures in my teaching. But first, a little bit about myself. I'm very excited to begin my career as a secondary teacher and look forward to the amazing experience I will have working with children. I have a love for both literature and history and I'm very excited to teach in both areas when I graduate. I'm originally from Brisbane, Queensland, where my immediate family still live. I have lived in Melbourne for 14 years and I am happily married with 3 beautiful children. It is my love for my children that has inspired me to become a teacher. Another inspiration for me has been my mother. She has worked as a teacher for more than 35 years and continues to be a role model for me. The hard work and dedication she gives to her career has also been an inspiration for me in pursuing a teaching career. For my degree, I worked at Crown Casino for 13 years, working in table games. My most recent position at Crown was as a table games trainer. I found in this role a love for helping people learn something new. This was a challenging position, but also very rewarding. Trying to teach a class with so many different learning styles and personalities can be difficult, yet so rewarding when you know that each person in the class has mastered an aspect of what you are teaching. Working for a large corporation such as Crown, it is easy to become just a number. My role as a trainer gave me an opportunity to get to know people and value their presence at training. School can feel like this for some people as well. I want to be able to show the students I encounter at school that I notice them and value them being there. This is the first step to engaging in learning. More recently, I volunteered teaching English in a primary school in Battambang, Cambodia. The immense joy I found in teaching children there just instilled further my desire to teach. It was this experience that cemented for me that I am doing what I should be, and that gives me confidence for the future. Why do I want to be a teacher? I've already touched on 2 inspirations as to why I want to be a teacher, my children and my mother. Further to that, it is plain and simple. I enjoy teaching. I love history and English and I get a real joy of teaching this to students. I want to inspire students to learn, to have inquisitive minds and to challenge them to be the best they can be. As I said earlier, my children have inspired me to become a teacher. I think about what experience I want my children to have at school and in the classroom, and this makes me want to provide that for other students as well. High school is a tumultuous time for many teenagers. In a world that is growing bigger by the second, it is easy to feel lost in the crowd. It is this reason that draws me to teaching, especially high school teaching. Children want to feel noticed and valued, and I want to be one person in their day that values that they are at school. It is through this connection with students that learning in the classroom can begin. My role as an educator is not only on an academic level, but to guide students to be the best they can be and understand their social responsibility and the impact of their choices. Ideally, through my teaching, I want to nurture lifelong learning. This is one of the many reasons why I have a passion for teaching history. Studying history teaches us to be human. It teaches us empathy for people outside ourselves and helps students into the mindset of others. English and history have the ability to teach students the capacity for independent thought, reflection and judgment, skills that are invaluable outside of the classroom as well. This is why I love not only the content of these subjects, but also the skills that the students can gain from them. Another reason I want to be a teacher is I enjoy working with children. I enjoy the humour they bring to the world with their unique views on life. The unpredictable nature of children is what makes teaching great. What can I bring to the classroom? My experience working for Crown Casino as a table games trainer has given me not only the experience of what it's like to be a teacher in a class setting, it has also given me the experience and knowledge of legislative practice and working with a code of ethics. Crown, as a registered training organisation, had many policies and guidelines that had to be adhered to. As a trainer, it was my job to ensure that I met these and my duty of care to my students. The experience has given me great insight into the other aspects of teaching that are beyond pedagogies and content. Along with my training experience, I have 20 years of customer service experience. Having worked in tourism and hospitality, I've become proficient in working with several different people from diverse backgrounds and cultures. This has taught me many things: patience, attentiveness, the use of positive language, an ability to handle surprises, and the ability to use my acting skills when necessary. More recently, I volunteered in Cambodia working in a school teaching English to grades 5 and 6. This was a challenging experience that taught me flexibility as a teacher. I found, as a teacher, this is an essential skill to have. Not only did I need to be flexible, but also resourceful. There were little classroom supplies in Cambodia, and I learned to rely more on my own teaching and terrible art skills to create engaging lessons for the students. This experience has enhanced my teaching considerably. My teaching experience so far, as related to Standards 1 and 2. Part of my teaching philosophy is building positive relationships with students as a way to engage learning. By getting to know my students, I will then be able to adapt my teaching to suit their individual learning styles. By doing this, I am creating a more inclusive classroom for the students. During my experience of creating lesson and unit plans for university coursework and during my teaching placements, I make sure to include a range of teaching and learning strategies to cater for diverse learners. Whether I'm teaching English or history, I encourage inquiry learning where appropriate. I believe in fostering students to do history, and this way they further their understanding and retention of knowledge. I also incorporate collaborative learning as much as I can in the classroom. As social beings, we can learn from each other in a way to spark our own thinking and learning. For example, I created a 10-week unit plan for a Year 11 history class on global empires. I have included activities that has the students asking questions about what they see. Not only does this encourage critical thinking, it also allows me as a teacher to cater the learning to what the students want to know. Once again, building on positive relationships with the students to engage learning. I also use ICT frequently to broaden the access of knowledge for students and use as an engaging learning tool. As part of this unit plan, a formal formative assessment task was designed in a way to differentiate learning for the students. The design of this task is for the students to build on their tasks as they continue to learn about the topic. It is designed to complement learning as each stage of the task is matched to learning topics during the unit. It also invites students to ask questions and make choices regarding the dilemmas and beliefs of people in the past. Once again, this gives students a chance to be historians by asking questions and searching for evidence to support their answers. Each of the topics covered throughout this unit are done in relation to the Victorian curriculum. The chosen assessment tasks are also designed in line with the requirements of the curriculum for this level of study. Including a variety of learning strategies into my lesson plans helps to differentiate to suit the different learning needs of the students. The use of teacher-led learning, class discussions, small group work, inclusion of ICT, visuals on the board and individual tasks are some ways in which differentiation is catered for in the classroom. Other ways in which I have used differentiation is through assessment tasks. I've designed choice board tasks where students choose how they present and demonstrate their knowledge of the topic in a way that best suits their learning styles. My teaching plans. I was fortunate enough during my last placement to participate at a professional development day that was presented on John Hattie's Visible Learning program. I learned of the importance of making visible the learning intentions to the students each class and showing them the success criteria so they know what we're working towards. Ways in which I used this was to write these on the board at the beginning of each class. I felt this kept students on task during the lesson as they understood what we were doing. Other strategies that I believe are important in fostering learning is the incorporation of self-assessment. By integrating self-assessment into the learning process, encourages students to reflect on their own learning to identify their strengths and be more aware of where they need to improve. I want to teach students to see progress in their own work. Encouraging students to take ownership of their own learning will help them gain the skills to be lifelong learners. As an educator, this is something that I want to inspire my students to be, lifelong learners. My job is to equip them with the skills to do this. As well as promoting self-learning, an important aspect of teachers is embracing differences and having compassion for others. The importance of incorporating the cross-curricular priorities into the classroom is integral to inclusivity and for students to understand the uniqueness of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures and the wisdom and knowledge embedded in them. For a history curriculum unit for university, I created a lesson plan sequence according to the Year 10 Victorian curriculum. The lessons were designed for students to gain a greater understanding of and respect for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories, in this case regarding the stolen generations. This lesson encourages students to examine multiple perspectives and interpretations through primary and secondary sources, especially inquiring into the stories of those who had no voice at the time. By incorporating the cross-curricular priorities into the teaching and learning process, students are able to engage with and better understand the world in which they live. This leads back to my teaching philosophy of teaching students to be the best they can be and understand their social responsibility and the impact of their choices. Learning about other cultures and their histories helps students to see their place in the world and help foster this concept of being global citizens. I hope you have enjoyed my presentation and learned a little bit about me and my capabilities as a teacher. I thank you for your time.